Wagwan royalties, welcome to your Queen's Kitchen. Today we are going to be preparing some authentic Jamaican sweet potato pudding. This video will be in collaboration with Jamaican Vibes. I will leave her link in the description below. Please go over there and check out her version of the sweet potato pudding. Okay, royalties, so as you can see, I have some goodness on my counter. So here I have a piece of yam and I have some Jamaican sweet potato. You want to make sure that you use the Jamaican sweet potatoes, okay? And here I have some grated coconut. I have some pure creamed coconut right here. I have some almond extract, vanilla essence, rose water, browning, cornmeal, all-purpose flour, brown sugar, coconut milk, and I have some spices over here. So here I have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, nutmeg, allspice, ground cloves, and powdered ginger. I also have ½ teaspoon of salt. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just going to peel my sweet potatoes and my yam, and I won't be doing this the traditional way today. I won't be grating these, I'll be putting them in my food processor. Okay, so our potato and our yam, they're peeled and washed nicely. Don't mind if the colors are changing, okay? That won't do anything. So what we're gonna do now, we're going to mix our wet ingredients because we're gonna need a little bit of liquid, okay? So I'm just going to add my 2 tin of coconut milk. Lovely. And now we're going to add our 1 tablespoon of rose water. 1 tablespoon of vanilla essence, 1 tablespoon of almond extract, and we're not going to add our browning as yet, okay? So here I have the ½ pack of the creamed coconut, and that is this one, the pure creamed coconut. And all I did, I had it melted, so I'm just going to add this also to our mixture. And if you don't have this, you can add some butter, okay? About 3 tablespoons of butter or margarine. You just want to melt it. We're just gonna scrape that out. So now I'm going to add some red label wine, and this is optional, so I did not measure this out. I just let my ancestors guide me, but I think it's about 1/4 cup of the red label wine. You can use any red wine or you can use some white rum, but you wouldn't want to add ½ cup of white rum. It would be too strong, so you just probably would want to add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of the white rum. So now we're going to add our 2 cups of brown sugar, and I'm using brown soft cane sugar, to our mixture. So what you want to do now, you just want to combine this, and the sugar again, you can add 1½ cup if you don't want it to be too sweet. But hey, I love my sweet potato pudding sweet and nice. After all, it's a great treat, right? So just combine this nicely. Let all the sugar mix out in this. And at this point, you want to make sure that your oven is preheating, okay? So we're preheating our oven at 350 degrees. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put these in our food processor and have them processed. If you don't have a food processor, you will have to grate these with a hand grater, okay? So let's put our sweet potatoes and our yam in our processor now and have them processed. So I have 4 cups of sweet potato, and remember, use the Jamaican sweet potato. And I just have a small piece of yam, just about 4 pieces in here, just to give it a little bit of texture, and the yam also gives it a lot of flavor. Okay, so we're just gonna start the processing now. So this is what it looks like thus far. It still needs to be blended some more so it can be smooth. So I'm just going to add a little bit of our liquid. And then we're going to start the processing again. Okay, so the processing is finished. We're just going to pour this out in our mixing bowl. So this is our mixture. This is a consistency that it currently have. See, nice and smooth. They want to make it nice and smooth. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside and we are going to combine our dry ingredients. So we're gonna sieve our ingredients. So we're gonna add our cornmeal, and we're adding 3/4 cups of cornmeal. And we're going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So now we're going to add our spices. I have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of allspice, 1 teaspoon of ginger powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. We also have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, just to get everything combined nicely together. Just want to sift this. Okay, and we don't want these in there, so we're going to throw these out. So we're just going to combine this. So now everything is nicely combined. We're just going to go ahead now and we're going to fold in our dry ingredients in our wet ingredients. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our 1/2 cup of grated coconut. We're also going to be adding 1/2 cup of raisins, and this is optional, but if you're using raisins, make sure that you soak them. Okay, so I had these soaking in some white rum and red label wine. You want to soak these in your wine. You can use fruit wine as well. And remember, this is optional, but you want to make sure if you're using your raisins that you soak them. So I'm just gonna go in now with my browning, and I'm going to start out with 1 teaspoon of browning. So we're going in with our browning, 1 teaspoon, just 1/2 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. Oops. So just gonna combine all of this together, and then we're gonna add our dry ingredients. So that's what we have. I think I'm gonna go in with 1/2 teaspoon more browning, just 1/2 teaspoon more. And this is up to you. Let your ancestors guide you with the browning, okay? It's really up to your liking when it comes on to the browning. Alright, that looks lovely. So now we're gonna add our dry ingredients and we're just gonna fold that in. So let's go ahead and add that now. You can add this little by little, but I'm adding all at once, okay? Still gonna work out great. I just wanna fold this in. And we have some of our mixture leave. We wanna leave some of our mixture, about 1 cup or half cup for the custard. We call it the custard, that's the top. Want to leave that, okay? So just keep folding until everything is nicely combined. Okay, so here it is. We have completed folding in our dry ingredients. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna pour this out in our baking tin. We're gonna bake this for 1.5 hours. Sometimes it takes less than 1.5 hours. It all depends on your oven, but I'm baking this at 350 degrees. And from the mixture, from our wet ingredients, I measured it out. I have 1¼ cup, little bit over 1¼ cup of our mixture. We want this to make the custard on top. Okay, so we're just gonna pour these now in our greased baking tin. So here I have a 8-inch baking tin. You can use 8-inch or 9-inch, and I greased it with some butter. Just put a nice amount of butter. It gives you a nice crisp around the edges when you have a good amount of butter on the bottom and also on the side. So we're just gonna pour our butter in. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it at that. And we have a little bit leave in our plate. We just can make a small one or some cupcakes. So it's time to pop these in the oven, okay? Okay, so we are about half an hour to 35 minutes in, and you wanna put your leftover liquid on top. So we're gonna make the custard. I wanna do that when the inside of your pudding is still jiggly. All right, so we're gonna add that now on top, all over it, all over like that. And I have the little one here. I'm gonna add some as well. Just add it, and you just can spread this with a spoon, or you can use a brush, but I'm just gonna use this spoon just to spread it all over. Hope you can see that. Just spread it to the edge, and so we're gonna leave this now for about 20 to 25 more minutes. So approximately it's taking like 1 hour to bake, 1 hour to 45 minutes, 1 hour. Okay, here it is, my family. Here's the big one. It is looking good. It is looking delicious. Yes, look at that. So we're gonna wait until this is fully cool before we actually cut into it. So this is gonna be next day. So next day I'm gonna cut into this so you can see the goodness inside. You've seen the goodness outside. Now it's time to see the goodness inside. Here it is, royalties. It's the next day. The pudding is looking absolutely amazing. OMG, look at that. That's a small one right there, and that's the big one right here. You can see the custard on top. See that? So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna remove this from the baking pan, and we're gonna cut into this, and we're gonna see the goodness inside. Alright, so we're gonna cut into this now and see the goodness. Wow. Look at that goodness. A nice little slice out of here. Let's take this up and look at that. Wow, look at that, guys. Look at that. See that goodness? Look at that. I hope you're seeing this. So soft, moist. You can see the raisins. The raisins are optional. I did not put a lot, I put a few amount, but look at that moisture, that softness. You can see the coconut flakes. You can see the custard on top. You'll be the judge of this one, okay? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Leave me a thumbs up if you like this video, if you like this recipe. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscription button. Turn on your post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. Until next time, God bless you all.